Hello there everyone, so today I'm finally swatching my Schmincke watercolours, and I say finally because I've had these for quite a few years now. They've basically just been laying in a drawer since I bought them and I haven't even opened them properly. So I thought today's the day, crack them open and then actually maybe start using them as well. So I bought these a few years ago because I kind of was getting back into art again, I thought anyway. So I bought these and a few other things, and these are really nice watercolours. Did a lot of research. Look on the back here, I got the large set because I'm always kind of the opinion, if I'm going to do something, I like kind of doing it all out in a way, you could say. But then obviously I ended up putting it in a drawer and I haven't opened it since, which was not the plan. I ended up not really getting into art properly like I wanted to. I still was very on and off with it, but I'm back in a place where I really want to start doing it far more regularly because I so enjoy doing art and it really helps with mental health as well. But anyway, this is the tin or the metal case with all the colours inside. They just look beautiful like this. This you can lift out. This is kind of the part that holds all the paint. You can even lift this out as you're using it, and then here you actually have more little mixing areas. First of all, before I can do any swatching, I need to unwrap all these little ones. What I also like first impressions is often I see these kind of watercolor palettes where you have these little pans, but they're very loose and they move around a lot. With these, it seems like it's basically very nicely and tightly packed. So I do like that straight away. And you take out a pan there, you have to unpack each one. And obviously what you can then do is rearrange these colors as you put them back in. But to be honest, I quite like the way they're already arranged. So I'm probably just going to keep it the way it is. Well, anyway, the first step, like I said, is to actually unwrap these. So the first one here is gold, apparently. I didn't even realize until just as I looked at it now that there's actually a gold and a silver in it as well. So this is the gold one. The silver is up there right next to it. So let's have a little look at the silver. Almost feels like you're unwrapping little sweets or candies or something. Oh wow, they look lovely. So this is the gold and silver up close. Now obviously still in the pans and dry. The silver looks really beautiful. It's interesting to then see how these are going to come out on paper, obviously, when we swatch them. Anyway, I'm going to keep unwrapping these and then also put them back in place afterwards. And I don't think I'm going to bore you with that whole process. So I'm just going to get on with it. So I now finished unpacking all of them here in the back in the tray, and first impressions when I started unwrapping them is they just look so satisfying, and also the surface is so smooth. Then I did run into a few problems where some of them, the paper wrapping got stuck on them. It might have been because as they've been laying in the drawer, it's been hot and cold on and off. We've had heat waves and stuff over the years, so maybe have adhered a little bit, but I'm sure just adding a bit of water, that'll go off easily. So I think for the sake of swatching them, I'm just going to take them back out here, just so we don't have these kind of flaps getting in our way. And then I have the swatch card here that came with the palette, which is lovely. I think it also seems like it's on watercolor paper. That's what it feels like, and also that would make sense really, wouldn't it? So we have all the colors on here, so I think I'm just going to start wetting these because obviously they are currently dry. So I've already got some water ready, but I've also got a little spray bottle here because it's quite handy doing that, just kind of wetting them all first and just giving them a chance to soak a little bit before we actually start using them. So I'm just going to do that. And then I'm just going to pick my brush, and actually on the swatch card on the back it does kind of have instructions for how to do the swatches. Obviously you can do what you want, and it says to put watercolor with the color, saturate it at the top left corner, and then clean the brush, and then put a wet patch with just water on the bottom right corner. Use a brush to kind of connect the two, and that'll create a nice gradient. So I guess I'm going to try and do that, seeing as I'm not exactly experienced with watercolor. Might as well follow the instructions. So let's have a look. It seems like gold starts from down here. So it said to first of all grab the color. It feels really nice just kind of using the brush, and then it has a really nice feeling to it, a texture, very smooth. So it said to add the color to the top left, saturate it nicely, then clean the brush, and then just add water to the bottom right, and then dry the brush, and then connect the two, which will then create a gradient. It seems to work pretty nicely, because I guess it's to show the variation you can get in just one color. So if you have it very saturated, you get a nice dark one, and obviously the more water you add, the more faded out and lighter it will become. So let's do this little one. Now I would also be quite curious to try these metallics on black paper. These metallics is something I would use more as an accent, I think. Right, so I was gonna say now we're getting onto the colors, but we're not really, because we're going to white. So I doubt this will show up much either, but let's just do all of them. Why not? Ooh, that looks lovely. What a gradient we get there. That was one white. That was the titanium white. Then we also have a Chinese white, which, oops, I went into yellow. Duh, that's not very white, is it? Which I don't really know what the difference between... I can see a slight difference in the pans. That looks a little bit, not quite beige, but just a hint of beige in it as opposed to just pure white. But still, otherwise, I don't really know what the difference is. It could just be that real bright and colourful. Again, it's very beautiful. Love the gradient. Moving on. Now we're starting with the colours. Now we're starting with light ones because it's yellow. They're obviously usually more light ones, but they are colour nonetheless. So the first one is a lemon yellow. Get some colour on there. Just gonna go onto that one. Nope, pick the right box. You can definitely see a nice gradient there. Next is another yellow. That's a cadmium yellow light. You can see a difference. This is a bit of a warmer yellow. Connect the two. To be fair, it's quite a nice technique anyway to actually maybe use when painting properly. This one is what? Translucent yellow, and then connect the two. Oh, definitely, actually the more water you add into it, more the yellow comes out. That's interesting. Right, moving on to oranges now. Although this one is called Indian yellow, but it looks more orangey. It's a bit of a light orange, yeah, but I would call it orange. I do like kind of creating a gradient like this. It works really well actually. The next one is where there's a bit of packaging left. Okay, this is being a bit more stubborn than I thought it would. I might have to get something. Let me just try a palette knife. Don't really want to dig too much at it, but I also don't want the packaging on there. Okay, I think this is going to take a little bit more of an operation, so I'm just going to leave that for now. So this one is chrome yellow deep. I really like how this is turning out, actually, the gradients you get like this with this technique. I'm going to keep that in mind. Moving on, this one is now officially called chrome orange. Ooh, this one is nice and bright. That's nice. Translucent orange, that one was called. We're almost at the end of the first row. This one is called cadmium red light. So it's still an orangey, but it's definitely going more towards the red now. Going over the lines is almost washing them out completely. Dry off the brush, do the connection. It's really lovely. It also feels very easy to control, this watercolor. So that was this row. I really like how that looks. I love the look of watercolor as well. Let's go to Scarlet Red. A very beautiful color. It's very rich. Clean the brush out and then get to the next red, which is deep red. And then the deep red is a bit darker. And then doing the gradient. Next is going to be Madder. Red dark madder, I don't know. In the pan it looks fairly similar to the one we just did, but let's see how it looks swatched. It also looks fairly similar, I would say. That's my impression when I was unwrapping them as well. It's obviously you do get a lot of colors, but there are a few colors that I kind of wish were a bit different. For instance, there's literally, from the looks of it, one purple. I wish there were a few more purple, and maybe some of these reds, like instead of some of the reds or instead of some of the blue, especially because here then these reds look quite similar. Maybe one of them could have been another purple, but oh well. Obviously we can mix ourselves as well. And then we have Permanent Carmine, which is 1, 2, 3, 4. This one again, also quite similar to these. Now there are differences, obviously they are different from each other, and you can see that, but they are also somewhat similar. So then we have what looks a bit darker, and that's a magenta. Definitely get the more pinky feel to it. Then we have the purple one, doing the gradient. So the next one should also be a purpley one because it's called violet, but it's ultramarine violet. It looks just really dark in the pan, so you can't really see much of a color. I'm guessing it's going to be a bluey purple. Ooh, now it shows up more. Yeah, it's definitely bluey purple, but it's still purple. So okay, you got two purples then. Okay, next we have Delft blue. That sounds weird. I have no idea what that means. I've never heard that before. Just make sure I'm grabbing the right one. So it definitely looks darker. Yep, that's darker. Wow. Delft blue. Let's blend them together. Oh, that definitely makes it much more blue, but it's still a dark blue even though it's watered down. Right, next one we have follow. So it's this one, which is indigo. Right, let's see what the gradient is like. It's definitely a dark blue even when you water it down. So what do we have left? 3, so it's a third from the top. This one is ultramarine finest. So it looks very dark in the pan, but as soon as you put the water on, it lightens up quite a bit. It's a very nice blue. It's a very nice bright, not too dark, not too light. Continuing with the blues, the next one is mountain blue, and the last one in this row is Prussian blue. Again, in the pan that looks really dark. Can't really see anything, can you? Whoops. Oh, definitely not as dark as the pan. See, again, that's quite deceiving almost almost. You wouldn't think that colour was coming out of that almost black looking pan. Let's move back down. So we're now on the third one, and this is phthalo blue. So we're still in the blues, and you add more water and kind of dilute it out. That changes quite a bit from when it's really saturated. Next is also blue, cerulean blue tone. Let's see how it blends out. Next we have Hello Turquoise. That's a name. Again, you would not think that color from the pan. Next we have the Cobalt Turquoise. Now in the pan this looks much lighter. Whoa, yes, that's lighter, but it's still very saturated and quite opaque. And mixing them. Then we have a Prussian green. So we're now moving towards the green ones, which is this one that's also got some packaging remnants. I'll try and deal with that later. Let's see the gradient and how it is a bit more diluted. Next we have a phthalo green. Let's see it blended out. As you dilute it down more here, you can actually, more the blue comes out. Next we have May green. Definitely more of a summer green, hence I'm guessing the name May green. We'll kind of associate that color with summer. And then let's see, connecting them. Next we have Cobalt Green Dark. It's got that kind of foresty feel about it. Yeah, even more so now. Right, then we have Permanent Green Olive, which is this one. Permanent Green Olive. So there should be an olive green. Blend it out. Next we have Olive Green Yellowish. That's definitely in the pan. It looks very olive. Blend it out. Almost done with this row here. Then we have Brilliant Yellow Dark. Doesn't look very dark in the pan. It looks like it would be a skin tone. Make sure we can see something. I would say that's definitely a possibility for a light skin tone. Let's see it blended out. Next we have Naples Yellow, which looks quite similar but just maybe a little bit darker. Right, so that's the third row. Moving to the last one, start from the bottom again. We have Yellow Ochre. I wonder when we blend it out if we're going to get more of the yellow. A little bit, not so much I would say, considering the name. Then we have Naples Yellow Red. Red with 2 Ds. Okay. Which is, oh, this one here. Okay. Naples Yellow Red. That's not the color I would expect from that name. Again, this looks kind of skin tone-ish, or maybe a blush or shadow shading color. I don't know. Then we have Burnt Sienna. So now we're moving more towards the browns. It's definitely got that burnt feel to it. Mixing. The next is Madder Brown. Then we have another colorway. It was that madder word, which I don't really know what means or what that is. But anywho, definitely a red brown, that's for sure. We have Venetian Red. Number 5. Also has a little bit of packaging. Next is Indian Red. Let's just move down a little bit, which is the one after the packaging. So that's this one. Got a little bit of a smoky feel to it. Then we have Burnt Umber. A nice brown. Nice for nature things. And let's blend them out. Then we have Sepia Brown, which is, where are we? That one, yeah. Oh, that is very dark. Sepia Brown. Oh, there's definitely got a grayish tone to it. Right, we got 4 left-ish, if you can call the last one. We have Neutral Tint. That one's got a little bit of a purpley feel to it. We have 3 left. Next is Payne's Grey Bluish. I thought it was a blush bluish. Third from the top. Yeah, it's definitely a blue. Very dark. We have 2 left. The next one being Ivory Black. So that is just a black. Hey, honey bun. What is this, eh? Let's do a little blend. Now we have 1 left. And that is the one that I don't really know what is or what it's supposed to be for. Oxcal Wetting Agent. I don't know what that means. So it does look a bit funny in the pan as well if you could see it up close. It's almost like it's got some texture on it and, I don't know, weird. Hey baby. I don't really know what this is for. I couldn't find any information in the booklet or anything. I guess I'm just gonna have to look online. Hey cuteness. Does it smell weird? If it's used has a special purpose, which I'm assuming it does, I need to find out what that is because I don't know. Anyway, that is all the swatches complete. Pretty colours, aren't they, baby? Not as pretty as you though. Nothing is. Ooh, sneaky. What's going on? Hey, don't drink the water. No. So that is all the swatches. And I really like the way it's come out. I love just looking at something like this. It's very satisfying anyway. And also just to show you, hey baby, at the bottom there, the gold and the silver, you can definitely see it is metallic. And the silver has actually come out more after it's dried. Oh, hi baby. You like it as well? Yeah, I know. Me too. It's pretty, isn't it? Lovely colours. Anyway, I was trying to say the silver actually is more visible now on the white here, now that it's dried, as opposed to when it was still wet. And you can even see the whites a little bit, maybe not so much on camera, actually. Doesn't seem like it, but I can see it a little bit more. So that's all the swatches. I finally swatched my Schmincke watercolors. So I hope you enjoy swatching along with me and having a look at these colors here. Thank you so much for watching this video, and I'll see you in the next one. You saying goodbye as well? Yes. Pretty colours. Oh, you're putting your stamp on it. Hope it's dried.